One of the things I like about live cinema, it's never the same twice. And you can never watch it on Netflix or YouTube. The only way to experience something is to be here. There's something about the ephemeral nature of it that I really like.
I think there's something quite sinister about it, because it's quite John Carpenter, isn't it? And it's quite kind of just the way it just engulfs people's houses and then disappears.
20th Century Fox had a motto when they had the huge movie palaces in the 20s. The movie starts right when you walk in the front door. And that was an acknowledgement that everything around the film is part of the film. If you see it in a full house, if you see it in a big theater, a small theater, if you see it in the afternoon or at night, if people have been drinking before that, all that has a huge effect on your experience of the film. So all that's part of the show.
In 1957, the Soviet space program's budget was $71 million.
When you're doing a live show, the crowd is like just an obvious, like it changes what the pieces feel like entirely. We definitely react to the crowd and like the mood of the way the narration's delivered for both of us. And then in terms of what we say, I think the narration definitely changes from piece to piece depending on the crowd.
Get your shovels, your Singer sewing machines. The working class will bury itself.
It's like editing in 4D in a way. When you're editing a normal movie, you're trying to control and direct people's attention within this frame. And here you're doing the same thing, it's just in the whole room, which is a huge and fascinating palette to work with.
Jim's funny, but estimates was a super sophisticated method they used to turn them on and off. Sometimes it feels too empty. Right. Like the music doesn't take up much space. Fog is just a cloud on the ground. 3, 4.
Almost immediately. Okay. I think we just need about that much.
Fog is a cloud on the ground.
Cloud touching the ground. That's all that it is.
I thought it would be really nice for both of us to be able to kind of workshop some of the short films we were working on. We went and did a show at the Parish Art Museum and where we were trying new pieces and old pieces, and it was awesome. Like, I felt like my films really brought out the emotion in Sam's films, which is in there, but it isn't really foregrounded. In Sam's films really like allowed people to laugh during my films. And so I felt like they really, really complemented each other.
So it goes Hoagie Carmichael, yeah. Betty Davis, yeah. Woozy.
Oh, Woozy.
That's your cue, Woozy.
I think in some ways the Exploratorium is a perfect context to do this kind of live cinema because the Exploratorium is really a museum about experience. Being deliberate about that and self-conscious about that and investigating that phenomenon. And so I feel like this is a great laboratory to do that because we're all about paying close attention and being curious about the nature of experience, the nature of the moment, the nature of a kind of collective experience.
I tried to keep my pieces always a lot more improvised so that they felt like they could collapse at any moment. I love that. I love people like being on the, including the band, being like on the edge of their seats trying to like keep the thing from collapsing. There is the risk of that, and I love that. I love the risk of failure.
There is euphoria all around you.
Becky Foon, Brendan Canty, James Canty, Kate Ryan, Brent Green, Sam Green.